Hello everyone, myself Dr. Jyoti Gangude, Assistant Professor of Zoology, KTHM College Nasik. Students, in previous lecture, we already discussed regarding the head, that is morphology of head, orientation of head, okay. Now, and here, dorsal and ventral view of head, right? Now, today we are going to discuss on the mouthparts of insect or morphology of mouthparts of insect. Now, here the mouthparts are the organs, right? Such organs they concern with feeding of insect, right? So, such a feeding which constitute or such a feeding mechanism which constitute the unpaired labrum in front, then median hypopharynx behind the mouth, and a pair of mandibles and maxillae laterally, and labium forming the lip. So here you can see this is the first or primitive kind of mouthpart of insect, biting and chewing type of mouthpart. Okay, now here the mouthpart they constitute these parts. These parts they collectively form a mouth of insect, right? So like our mouth, upper jaw, lower jaw, then teeth are there, tongue is there, right? So these are what the mouth parts of human, right? Like that, there are different parts such as the maxillary pulp, then what hypopharynx, then labium, labrum, mandibles, glossy, paraglossy. They collectively form mouth parts of insect, right? So here, such a mouth parts, they are the organs of insect concerned with the feeding mechanism. Now, which constitute the first one, that is unpaired labrum. Okay, unpaired labrum means what? Labrum is a single, not in pair. So here you can see unpaired labrum in front. Okay, in front of the head, first segment or first part of the mouth part is what? The labrum. Okay, in front of the head. Then a median hypopharynx. Here you can see hypopharynx which is acting as a tongue of insect. Okay, like our tongue. Okay, hypopharynx which is acting as a tongue of insect. After that, uh, here a median hypopharynx behind the mouth. Then a pair of mandibles and maxillae lie laterally. Here you can see a pair of mandible and maxillae. They lie at the lateral side of the mouth part, right? And labium which forming the lower lip, right? Labium, here you can see the labium which form, here you can see labium, right? Labial pulp is there. Labium which form the lower lip. So, upper lip is what? Labrum. Lower lip is what? Labium. Okay. Laterally what lies? The mandibles and maxillae. And inside, okay, or behind this labrum, what it is? The hypopharynx. Means these structures, they collectively or this combined structure form the mouth part of insect. Okay. Now, as the insects, they feed in many ways. Okay. Their mouth parts show many specializations in the form and also in their development. Here, two basic types of mouth parts they can be recognized. The mouth parts such as the first one, that is adapted for biting and chewing of solid food. Okay. The first category of mouth part is what? Such a mouth parts, they are adapted for biting and chewing of solid food. Okay. So what are the solid feeders? You are familiar with the cockroach, you are familiar with the bugs, sorry, not bugs, you are familiar with the beetles, right? Then you are familiar with again grasshopper, then leaf hopper, okay? Or again you are familiar with the cricket. These are what the solid feeders, right? And the second category or second group of the mouthparts, they are such a mouthparts adapted for sucking up the liquid or fluid material, okay, which includes particularly the bugs, right? Again mosquitoes, right? So mosquitoes, they are feeding on what? Blood. So blood is what? A liquid food. Then bugs, okay? Bugs, they belongs to order Hemiptera, and you know bugs, they are feeding on, okay, some bugs, they are hematophagous like the bed bug, right? And some bugs, they are the phytophagous, means they are feeding on the plant fluid juices, okay? Now commonly the bark bug or sting bug, right? So these two categories of insects or mouthparts adapted for the type of food material. Now the sucking type shows several grades such as sucking only, that is suctorial, right? Then sucking and chewing, piercing and sucking, and combination, that is sucking and lapping. Right? These are the combination of mouthparts. So we can see all the types of mouthparts one by one. Now the first type of mouthpart, that is biting and chewing type of mouthpart. Now biting and chewing type of mouthpart, which is also called as a mandibulate type of mouthpart, right? So the biting and chewing type of mouthparts, they are what we say is that commonly or they are generally a primitive kind of mouthparts from which all other mouthparts they get evolved, right? Now they are meant for, okay, they are useful for pinching of the food material, then chewing of the food material, swallowing the pieces of plant and animal tissues, right? So chewing of the chewing is what? Again cockroach are there, cockroaches are there, crickets are there, right? Swallowing the pieces of plants such as beetles are there, right? So as well as animal tissues. So beetles, they are also feeding on plant or also on the animal tissue, or what we say is that carnivorous in diet. So such a mouthparts have the different part of set, okay? So the set of parts, the parts such as the first one, that is labrum or upper lip. Here you can see, right? The first type of mouthpart is what? Biting and chewing type of mouthpart, and it constitutes different parts. The first part is the labrum. Now here you can see the labrum. Labrum, or it is also called as the upper lip. Now here the labrum or the upper lip, which is the simple and variable in shape, variable in size, right? And lying in front of the head, right? Here you can see this is the head and such a labrum which is acting as the upper lip of the mouth part of the insect, which is variable in shape, variable in size, and again which lie in front of the head region. Now, and which appears, that is hangs from the clypeus, okay? Or you can remember that which is present in front of the head region. Now, it forms the roof of mouth cavity and which is capable of small degree of upward and downward motion. Now, such a labrum which forms the roof of the mouth cavity, okay, and which is capable of small degree of upward and downward motion. Now the second part, that is maxilla. So the maxilla are attached on either side laterally and work transversely for catching or holding the food material. Here you can see these are the maxilla. Maxilla, they lie at the lateral region, right? And the main role of maxilla are what? Catching or holding the food material. For each maxilla, which consists of a basal part. Here you can see the structure of single maxilla. Suppose we can take, so each maxilla consists of a basal part or the protopodite. Okay, protopodite which is made up of two segments. Here you can see which constitute two segment protopodite, that is cardo and stipe, and the latter bearing distally two branches, that is inner, here you can see inner endopodite and outer exopodite, right? So inner endopodite or outer exopodite. Now the endopodite which is made up of two lobes, that is inner one lacina, here you can see endopodite are there because they are present at the inward side. So again it constitutes two parts, inner one that is lacina and outer one that is galea, right? Again here the main role of such a endopodite here, which acting as a taste bud, right? Which acting as a taste bud, and they are often employed for grasping of the food and cutting or chewing of the food material. Okay, the main role of the endopodite here is what, that is lacina and galea is what, which acting as a taste bud of insect and which is useful for grasping of the food, and such a grasp food, okay, which cut into fine pieces or which get chewed. Now the exopodite, here you can see the exopodite, right? Exopodite usually consists of 5 segmented maxillary pulp. Okay, here you can see exopodite which constitute 5 segments, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, right? Which constitute 5 segments, or exopodite which is nothing but what, maxillary pulp. And the main function of the maxillary pulp which is tactile organ. Tactile means what? Which give taste. Okay, which give taste to the, or taste of the food material, that is tactile in nature. Now this is what about the second part, maxillae. Now the third part, that is mandibles. Here you can see the mandibles are there. Here you can see mandibles, right, from both sides, right? So a pair of mandibles lie in the cavity of mouth. They work transversely to masticate or to grind the food material. Now each mandible which is an unjointed, usually a triangular piece. Okay, so you can remember that mandibles, they are paired structure, lie in the mouth region, right? And the main function of mandible is what? To masticate the food material, right? So such a again, if we can see the detailed structure of mandible, right? So such a mandibles here you can see which shows the inner serrated margin, right? Here you can see the serrated margin, such a serrated margin which is useful for cutting up the or grind up the food material. Now after that the next part is the labium or lower lip. Now the labium which is formed by the partial fusion of the second pair of maxillae and form the floor of the mouth cavity. Here you can see the labium. Labial pulp or labium is there, or here you can see the dorsal part of the labium which form mentum and submentum, right? So the mentum which bears distally two labial pulps. The mentum, okay, which bears distally two labial pulps, one on either lateral side, right? So here you can see this is the labium, okay, and here you can see labium which shows the two part mentum and submentum. Here again the mentum at dorsally shows a process, okay, segmented process, what we say is that the labial pulp, or such a labial pulp which is usually three-segmented structure. Now in between the labial pulps lies the ligula, okay, here you can see lies the ligula which is made up of two paraglossy and two glossy. This is the ligula, and ligula which is made up of a paired structure of glossy and paraglossy. Okay, now Caligula, which helps in pushing the food material into the pharynx. Okay. Now, the next part is the hypopharynx. Now, the hypopharynx, here you can see, hypopharynx is a median process called tongue and which lie in the buccal cavity arising from its floor. Okay. And the opening of the salivary duct which lie at its base. Okay. So, as I already told you, the hypopharynx which is acting as a tongue of insect. Now, below the hypopharynx, okay, the main duct of the salivary, principal salivary gland which get open below the hypopharynx. Okay, below the hypopharynx. Now, after that, the epipharynx. Epipharynx, which is found in the form of membrane lining. Here, the undersurface of the labrum or the upper lip and bears the taste bud. Okay. Now, here the biting and chewing type of mouth parts, they are very common in case of silverfish. Example, that is Lepisma, or what we say is that silverfish, grasshoppers, then cockroaches, termites, beetles, some hymenopteran insects or its larvae, especially caterpillars of the Lepidoptera, means the caterpillars of butterflies or caterpillars of moths. Okay. Now, this is what the first and primitive kind of mouth part, biting and chewing type. Now, the next type is the chewing and lapping type of mouth part. Okay, chewing and lapping type of mouth part. So, this type of mouth parts, they are found in some of the Hymenoptera and they are modified for collecting the nectar and pollen of flowers and molding the wax, right? So, these mouth parts, they serve for both biting and licking, right? So, here, first I told you, these type of mouth parts, they are present in honeybees, okay? So, you keep honeybee in front of you, okay? Now, here, in honeybee, chewing and lapping type of mouth parts are present, okay? Now, these mouth parts, they are found in some Hymenoptera and are modified for collecting the nectar and pollen of flowers and molding the wax. Now, these mouth parts serves for both biting and licking. Now, the labrum lies beneath the clypeus and the fleshy epipharynx project below the labia. Okay, here you can see what it is actually. Here you can see this is the labrum. Okay, then here you can see the mandibles, they are reduced, right? Then here you can see paraglossi, they are modified. Then gallia, which is also modified. Labial pulp is modified. Labium, which get modified to form a, what we say is that a modified structure acting as a labellum, right? So, here the labrum lies beneath the clypeus and the fleshy epipharynx project below the labium. After that, the mandibles are situated on either side of the labrum. Here you can see the mandibles, they lie on either side of the labrum, and such a mandibles, they are smooth and speculate. Okay. So, here in case of this honeybee, the mandibles, they are not serrated, but they get modified or they are smooth structures. Okay. Why? Because such a honeybee, okay, honeybee which is not particularly feeding on extremely solid food material, right? So, therefore, there is no need to serrated margins of mandibles and therefore they get modified here. Now, here such a mandibles, they are smooth and speculate. Here, the workers use such a mandibles in building the honeycomb, right? In case of worker, such a mandibles, they are useful for building the honeycomb. Now, in the maxillae, here in case of maxillae, okay, the lacini are absent or lacini is absent. The maxillary pulp which is reduced. maxillary pulp which is vestigial or which is reduced, but the galea has become long and blade-like. Here the galea which become modified, okay, a blade-like structure. The labium is joined basally to the triangular postmentum or submentum, and the muscles filled prementum or mentum. Now the paraglossi are greatly reduced. Here you can see glossi they get modified and paraglossi they get reduced. While the glossi are united and hairy and greatly elongated structure, forming the rectactile lingular tongue, or which terminates in a honey spoon or labellum. Okay, here you can see the the glossi, which is highly modified structure, okay, to form a spatulate structure for collection of the nectaries or collection of the nectar from the nectaries, right? So here labial palps they are also elongated. Now while feeding, here you can see the feeding mechanism. While feeding, the galea and maxillae and the labial palps they are brought close together, forming a temporary hollow tube enclosing food channel. This tube can be inserted into the corolla of a flower. Now the center of the tube or the food channel is occupied by the tongue or the glossi, moving backward and forward to collect the pollen, and sucking up the juices of the nectar is assisted by pumping action of the pharynx. Now this type of mouthparts, right, they are commonly present in honeybees. Now the third type of mouthpart, which is piercing and sucking type of mouthpart. So I think you all are familiar with the piercing and sucking type of mouthparts because they are commonly present in mosquitoes or they are commonly present in birds. Now very simple kind of mouthparts are there. All the structures, okay, all the mouthparts they get very first in the form of needle-like structures, okay, they form a needle-like structures. Here such a mouthparts are piercing sucking mouthparts. Here the insect possessing such a mouthparts they are living on the sap of the plants or either blood of many mammals, which they suck after making a puncture in the epidermis of the skin of host, right? So what is the mechanism when mosquito bite? Okay, first which make puncture to the skin, okay, insert its stylate, what we say is that the labium inside the punctured skin, and again the mechanism first release the saliva through the salivary channel, okay, and to mix the anticoagulant into the blood, and through food channel, okay, whatever the blood is there, okay, which is withdrawn through the food channel, okay, this is the mechanism, okay. So what it is actually, such a piercing and sucking type of mouthparts, okay, they have two subtypes, okay. So the types such as dipteran mouthparts, particularly they are seen in mosquito, and hemipterous mouthparts, they are particularly seen in birds, right. So first we can see the dipteran mouthparts in mosquito. Now here in this type of mouthpart, the labium forms an elongated, fleshy and mid-dorsally crude haloprotective tube or proboscis. The labium, which is long, needle-like, fused with epipharynx, then the mandibles, maxillae and the hypopharynx, they are also elongated and pointed distally, forming needle-shaped stylates for piercing the skin, right, or skin of the host. Now they lie enclosed within the hollow labium, right? They lie inside the hollow labium. While feeding, the hypopharynx, here you can see, okay, labrum plus epipharynx. Here, while feeding, the hypopharynx, then labrum, here you can see, the labrum and the epipharynx, they become closely applied to enclose a tubular passage for the ascent of blood, right? So while feeding, the parts such as what? While feeding, the hypopharynx, okay, then labrum, epipharynx, they become closely applied structure to form a tube, okay, to withdraw the blood. Now, this is what in case of the dipteran type of mouth parts in case of mosquito. Now, the second category, that is hemipterous mouth parts of birds. In the bugs, labium forms three-jointed rostrum or a beak or proboscis. The stylates are only 4 in number, in which 2 are mandibles and 2 are maxillae. Now they are retractile and protractile. Now the maxillae enclose 2 grooves. The larger groove acting as a food canal for the upward flow of the blood, and the smaller groove as a salivary canal for the downward from the saliva. Okay, the maxillary pulps and the labial pulps, okay, all are together absent. Means the maxillary pulp and labial pulps, they are absent. Now this is what? The piercing and sucking type of mouth part. Now the next type of mouth part, that is sponging type of mouth part. Here the sponging type of mouth parts, they are very commonly present in case of houseflies. Now, the sponging type of mouth parts, they are found commonly in houseflies and other insects, and they get modified for sucking up the liquid food. Now, the mandibles are absent here, okay. In this type of mouth part, the mandibles, they are absent, while the maxillae, they are represented, okay. Maxillae, they are represented by 2 maxillary pulp and each made up of single piece. Now the labium is greatly modified. Here you can see the labium which get modified, okay, greatly modified to form the proboscis, right? Here you can see this is the labium or labium which is greatly modified to form 3 segmented structure, okay. The first part, that is rostellum, the second, that is first part, that is rostrum, the second one, that is hostellum, and the third one, that is labellum. So the first part, that is rostrum. Here a proximal cone like rostrum which bearing the maxillary pulp. Now the middle one, that is the hostellum, right? So the middle hostellum and ventral heart shaped plate called the theca. So you can remember the second segment, that is hostellum. Now, which is formed from the labrum plus epipharynx. Modification of the labrum and the epipharynx. And the third region, that is labellum. Here the distal labellum which constitute 2 expanded lobes or labellae. Here you can see, okay, these are the labellar structure, okay, which is provided by a small canal, small tubules, right? Such a canals, they are useful for sucking up the liquid food material, right? Now, this is what in case of the sponging type of mouth parts. We come to its feeding mechanism. Now here the 2 labellae, right? Here you can see in the diagram, focused in the diagram, 2 labellae, they lie retracted upward and backward, but when the fly feeds, they are protracted, they get expanded and placed over the liquid food. Okay, if the food is solid material of which get easily soluble, kinds such as sugar, right? Suppose such a housefly which is sitting on the solid food material such as sugar, okay, then the fly which exudes a drop of saliva and make the food material dissolve or make the food material semi-solid, and if such a food material which becomes liquid or semi-liquid, okay, or semi-solid, then with the help of such a labellum which suck it, okay. Now the liquid food is first collected by the pseudotrachees, right? Here these are what the pseudotrachees, or what a fine tubules are there, or such a tubules, they are called as the pseudotrachees, right? So the liquid food which is first collected by pseudotrachees, okay, by this, okay, take by the pseudotrachees and then pass on to the food canal, okay, and such a food canal which is formed by the labrum, right, and epipharynx, and after that which enter into the hypopharynx, okay. Means first, whatever the food material is there, if it is liquid then no problem. If the food material is solid, that time housefly make the such a solid food into the form of semi-liquid or into the form of liquid by injecting the saliva on that food material, okay. Then uh, again absorb such a liquid by means of the pseudotrachees. Pseudotrachees, they are present at the labellar region, okay, then which enter into the epipharynx followed by hypopharynx and which enter into the alimentary canal of insect, okay. This is very simple mechanism in case of spongy kind of mouth parts, and they are commonly present in housefly, okay. Now after that, the last type of mouth part, that is siphoning type of mouth part. Siphoning type of mouth parts, they are commonly present in butterflies, okay. I think you all are familiar with the butterflies, okay. So very simple kind of mouth parts are there. Here you can see, okay, this is the proboscis which get modified structure, or what we say is that the siphon, okay, it has again another name, that is siphon. Now the siphoning type of mouth parts, they are present in butterflies as well as in moths, and they are highly specialized for sucking up the juice of fruit and flowers. Now the mandibles and maxillae, they are very much reduced. Why? Because there is no need of mandibles, right? No need to catch the food, and therefore no need of maxillary pulp, right? So here in this type of mouth part, mandibles and maxillary, they get reduced, very much reduced. Then the maxillary pulps are vestigial. The labium, which is represented by a triangular plate which bearing the labial pulp. Okay, here you can see labial pulp. Now the essential working part, which is found by greatly elongated gallia of the maxillae. Here, which is in the form of half tube. When applied together, here you can see gallia from both sides, okay, paired gallia are there, gallia from both sides make the half tube, okay. Such a half tube, when applied together, the two galli forms a complete slender hollow tube, or it is a proboscis, okay. So the proboscis, which is nothing but what? It is the modification of gallia, okay. The two gallia from both sides, they are half, right? They combine together to form a hollow, elongated, slender, tube-like structure, or such a structure we call it as a siphon, or we call it as a proboscis, okay. Now, when such a proboscis, when not in use, which remain coiled up, okay. So here you can see such a proboscis, it is what? A coiled structure. Why? Because it is not in use. But when, okay, butterfly or moth which is feeding on any kind of food material, or which is feeding on food material, nectaries of flower, okay, that time you can observe such a proboscis, okay, such a proboscis which remains straight, or what we say is that which become uncoiled during the time of feeding, okay. Now this type of mouth parts, they are the peculiar characteristics of the order, or in case of adult Lepidoptera, butterflies, okay, butterflies, especially in butterflies, such a kind of mouth parts, they are present, okay. Now this is what the mouth parts today we are going to discuss. In next lecture we discuss on the antennae of the insect.